Alright, when I say R&B Drake, one of these two vibes will most likely come to mind. Either that soulful, emotional, sampled vibe that Drake mostly raps on,
2:30, baby, won't you meet me by the beach?
or that synthy, melodic, up-tempo vibe that Drake will actually sings on. And in this video, I'm going to be breaking down a sample in each style and sharing all my go-to VSTs, chord progressions, so y'all could implement them into your own samples and master Drake R&B samples. Let's get into it. Alright, for these type of soul samples, the main thing you need is a very good piano chord progression and a very good vocal sample. If these two are really good, you can easily build on top of them and make a great sample. So with that said, I started off by making the chord progression first. I made this chord progression in C major. So it was just all the white notes. It's a 2, 1, 6, 3. And then I switch it up in the second half and it goes 2, 5, 1, 3. If you don't know what 2, 5, 1 and all of these numbers mean, I'm going to be dropping a video soon on just chord progressions. But what you need to know right now is if I say I played a 2 chord, it basically means that I played the chord of the second note in the scale. So in C major, the second note of the scale is D. So when I say I played a 2 chord, I played a D minor. One thing to really get that soul vibe is to add extensions to your chord. So I have a 9th chord here, which means I added a 7th and a 9th note on top of the triad. I have a 7th here, another 7th, and I have a normal triad here. This chord right here is a dominant chord, which means this note is not in the scale, so it gives it like some kind of tension. But yeah, this is what the chord progression sounds like. And I use Keyscape for this. I use the Wing Upright Mono. In my opinion, the Wing Upright piano in Keyscape is the best piano you could use for these type of samples. I also like the Maverick Contact Bang. But yeah, you can't go wrong with Keyscape, man. For the effects, I didn't add much. I added 2 reverbs. One is the tiled room preset, and then I added some normal reverb, and then just a EQ taking out some frequencies I don't like, and another EQ here taking out the lows. But yeah, after I did the chords, I went straight into making the vocals. I make all of my vocal samples from scratch. I always record my vocals in a slower BPM that I want my sample to be, so when I speed it up later, it actually sounds sampled. But yeah, this is how the vocal sounds completely raw with no effects at all, just straight out of the mic. So don't you tell me lies no more. Don't you tell me lies no more. And then I did some basic processing to the vocal. So I just added noise canceling, autotune, compression, chorus, EQ, just some basic processing. And this is how it sounds like with it. Once I got my clean and processed vocal, I go onto another playlist and actually make the sample around it. First thing I did was speed it up to 100 BPM and I pitched it down 3 semitones, and then I added more de-esser because there was some harsh frequencies, and I added a lot of room reverb to it and just clean it up with an EQ. So yeah, this is how I make it go from sounding like just a normal recorded basic vocal into an actual like something you would hear on a Drake interlude or a Drake album. For the second part of the vocals, I just layered them on top of each other and I pitched this 1 octave up and I panned one all the way to the left and all the way to the right. And then I obviously drowned this in reverb, absolutely drowned it. I added some delay, and then I added this effect from Shaperbox, which makes it pan from one ear to the other. If you guys want a more in-depth video on making your own vocals, I already made one, so if you want to check it out, I'll leave the link in the description. And then I added this bass from the Scorby Rickenbacker contact bank. You probably know this bank. Yeah, I just followed the root notes of the piano, added some accent notes in the middle, but yeah, this is how it sounds like alone. And then I added the strings section. I used the Orchestra Complete 4 contact bank. I layered a violin ensemble with a cello ensemble just to make it sound a bit more full and a bit like a real orchestra is playing them. For the effects on these, I just added some reverb and just took out the lows with an EQ. Didn't really do much. And then I layered this with an E-piano. I used this Arturia E-piano VST, just copying the chords of the sample. I actually exported this out and reversed it, so this is how it sounds like. I don't know why it's clipping. Why is it clipping? Alright, that's better. For the effects, I added Galaxy Tape Echo, some reverb, some delay too, and Shaperbox, the same panning effect I put on the vocals. I didn't want the sound to be like really in your face, just something in the background to give it like more atmosphere. Like you can barely even hear it. That was pretty much this sample. I just added this accent here so I can transition to the next section. And this accent is from a pack I'm dropping next month, so stay tuned. I'm gonna tell you more about it later. And then I added this chime ambience effect from the Ain Sounds Allure multi-kit. And this texture as well. Just some noise. But yeah, that was it for this sample. The real sauce comes in this next sample, so let's get straight into it. So for these type of samples here, you're mostly going to use synths. So the best VCs to use is Analog Lab, Skykeys. Skykeys is honestly just one big Analog Lab bank. But yeah, Omnisphere 2 is fire. And if you guys want me to make a video on the top 10 VCs to use for these samples, just let me know in the comments and I'll make one. But yeah, I started off by making this chord progression here. I used this Analog Lab preset from Ain't All You Need Volume 3. I just added some Valhalla delay to it to make it like a bit more ambient. And this is how it sounds like. I exported it out because it was making like this noise that won't go away for some reason. And then I layered the same chords with this Skykeys preset. It's called Old Sax. I usually go on this vintage tape section here, and these are all fire for R&B. The sim section is fire too, and this is what this pad sounds like. I just did this volume automation with Shaperbox. I actually got this from my boy Kabe. He did it in one of his breakdowns. I tried it and it was fire. So shout out to him. Just gives it some bounce. But yeah, and then I added this guitar phrase. And then there's vocal texture too. These two phrases are also from the multi-kit I'm dropping this month. I made the Nouvelle multi-kit just for dark R&B OVO vibes. It has phrases, analog lab banks, one-shots, midis, vocals, everything, man. If you want to grab the free demo to Nouvelle and actually get early access before it drops, the link will be in the description, so make sure you check it out. And after that, I made this Perc Loop here. And I actually made this manually with these perks. This is how they sounded like before I added the effects. Yeah, I was just playing around with different perks from different kits. And then I drowned it in reverb, 2 reverbs actually. And then I also put on some Cymatics Origin to make it sound like it's underwater. Without the Origin, this is how it sounds like. But yeah, as of now, this is what we got so far in the loop. Bro, it's so fire, man. These two phrases are insane, man. And then I added these synth accent notes. And this preset is actually in my Nouvelle preset bank, so it's gonna be included in the multi-kit I'm dropping. And for the effects on it, I put this deep vocal space preset, some fruity flanges, kickstart, some delay, and I also filtered it out with Cymatics Origin. And then I added this synth lead. This lead is actually from the 40's very own Keys contact bank. This bank is also fire for these type of vibes, obviously, because it's like 40's own keys. I added the panning effect with Shaper Box, added Galaxy Tape Echo, Valhalla Delay, more reverb, and just an EQ cleaning it up. And then you can actually tell I played with the modulation on this while playing it in. But yeah, finally, I added this bass, and this is the deeper synth bass, also from my Nouvelle preset bank. So yeah, if you still didn't check out the free demo, the link will be in the description. There's also some analog lab presets in the demo, so make sure you guys check it out. But yeah, that's it for the second sample too, man. Hopefully you guys got some new sauce from this. I put out as much as I can. If I forgot to mention like a VST or an effect I used, just let me know in the comments. But yeah, man, that was it, and peace out. Love y'all.